the gateway dishes for converting an eggplant hater. You could do deep fried eggplant, or you could do eggplant dip. Guess which one is easier? I'm just going to separate the pita. I'm just basically cutting it open. Then what I'm going to do is make an herb oil. I'm kind of basing this herb oil loosely on a fresh za'atar. Za'atar is a Middle Eastern spice mix, usually made with dried herbs. You'd use oregano, thyme, and it usually has sesame in it, but I'm going to skip the sesame in this case. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to add olive oil. I'm going to mix this together, and I'm just going to brush it all over the pita breads, and then I'm going to grill them. Just puree it until you can't take it anymore. You can still see bits of the herb leaves. They're not completely pureed, but that's fine. And then once they're coated with the herb oil, I'm just going to grill them for about a minute or so on each side. Now you want to cut these into wedges while they're cool enough to handle, but still warm, because if you let them cool entirely, they're just going to crumble to bits. And then the little crumbly bits, just leave those on the platter. Kids will eat them. I might eat them. Your window on these is actually pretty narrow, so you really want to start cutting them the second they don't burn your hands. You don't have to make your own herbed pita chips to go with the eggplant dip, but I feel like it just makes it that much more special. So I got some nice skinny little eggplant. I think these are the best ones to use for this because the flesh is really nice and dense, it's not watery, and it also picks up the smoke really well. Cover it, catch every little bit of smoke, and then let that sit until the eggplants completely collapse. As soon as the eggplant is cool enough to handle, you want to peel it. Generally, if you've grilled it really, really soft, it'll just come right off, and then you can just kind of smush it into the bowl. It'll fall right in. By the way, if you get a little of the peel in, that is okay. It actually adds an extra layer of smokiness. Now the hard part is over. All you have to do is just mush everything up in the blender. Got my eggplant goop. I think eggplant goop is the technical term, or guts, eggplant guts. This dip is similar to a baba ganoush, but when you make a baba ganoush, you use tahini, and I'm using Greek yogurt. So it's more like a Greek eggplant dip. This is garlic, very finely chopped. I'm gonna do half a lemon. I'm probably gonna have to correct the seasoning at the end, so I'm gonna start with half a lemon and then go from there. And you don't wanna get the pits in here because the blender will not grind up those pits, and if it did, it would actually be very bitter. And then of course you need salt and pepper. You just wanna use a teeny bit of olive oil in the dip. I'm gonna add more on top, so just a little bit. Okay, now you wanna taste it at this point while it's still in here so that you can add more seasonings right to the blender bowl. Actually, it's good. Doesn't need any more lemon. I want to make the garnish as appealing and gorgeous as possible. So I'm going to use some pomegranate seeds, which sounds odd, but it's actually excellent with eggplant. Then I'm going to use some dates, some chopped up dates. Don't overdo the dates though, because they're powerfully sweet. That looks about right. And then some fresh mint. I'm just going to tear that up. And a little bit of olive oil right on top. Not too much, just a little. Come on, eggplant hater. You know you want this.